It's your girl, Tanya Michelle, for Prove Magazine, a black woman's proof that positive black men exist. I am super duper excited because I'm sitting here with actor Michael Jai White. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Yourself?
I am well. Welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you. Good for being back.
So, you have a lot of things going on right now. You have a new movie that you are working on.
Right, we're getting ready to shoot the follow-up to Black Dynamite, which is called The Outlaw Johnny Black, and it's a western, and it's in the style and the fashion of some of the movies that I grew up with back in the day when you had Sidney Poitier you had the Poitier Cosby movies like Uptown Saturday Night
when they had a
and
whole...
and you had the Poitier Belafonte type of film.
Right.
And that was it meant a lot to me growing up. To have these images of these powerful, intelligent black men, and it really resonated with me and influenced who I am today. And I just wanted to give that to another generation coming up.
So did you write this movie?
Yes, I did.
Wow. So you're the main character in the movie?
Yeah, myself and my partner, Byron Mintz, who also co-wrote and was my partner and co-writer in Black Dynamite.
So this is a little different than what you normally do.
Well, I mean, I like to keep it kind of flexible.
Versatile.
You know, like with what I normally do is kind of I'm all over the place. You know,
right.
I do action, I do the martial arts stuff, I do comedy, television, all of that. So I want to continue to do things that inspire me. I write, direct, produce, all of that.
So out of all the things that you do, what do you like doing the best? Or do you just like the fact that you can do it all?
Well, I like the entire industry. I like to be able to, eventually I want to produce.
Okay.
I really want to produce and be behind the scenes. Right now, I'm, the one with the lampshade on my head.
Right.
I got to, I'm because of my worldwide action base. It's, it's the business part of it.
Right.
And when you make money for folks, you get a chance to do the things that you want to do.
You are one of the black actors who stay relevant.
Thank you.
We don't get tired of you. We don't get bored with you. We constantly keep seeing stuff. And so how does that make you feel? Like, that says a lot about you.
Well, thank you. I believe it's about the marathon and not the sprint.
Okay.
And plus you got to be true to yourself. The things that resonate with me, the things I want to do, I know it would take a while. I don't expect everybody to get it. A lot of people, they want to pigeonhole you in the stuff until you show that you don't belong in that one shelf.
Right.
And so I understand when people say, oh, he's the martial arts guy. Well, when I first got into this business, I was doing things that, there's a reason why I didn't want to even do martial art type stuff. When I first came to town, I wanted to be established as an actor, and that's what happened. So, but there are pockets of fan base and people who are aware of me for one reason or the other. I tend to have this interesting kind of career where I'm these one-name characters that people just shout out. I'm Spawn over here, I'm Marcus over here, I'm Bone over here, and I'm Black Dynamite this way.
Right.
There's characters that I played in films that are known in China and Russia and things like that. So it's all about this chess game, and I start bringing my whole game into one focus, and that's kind of kind of a world kind of domination thing where I say, okay, folks didn't quite understand the way I'm moving, but now they might get a glimpse.
But that seems like it comes from you staying true to who you are as an individual and not allow them to put you in a box. But that's got to be more than just the actor side of you. That's got to have something to do with you, who you are as an individual, as a whole.
Well, yeah, I mean, just as an individual, I tend to be a very eclectic person, but a lot of times that doesn't bode well for your image, because people are used to being able to
what they want,
peg you in one way.
Right, put you in a box.
Yeah, I mean, that helps a lot of people's career, because then they go, okay, he owns this area.
Right.
He's the leading man type, and he's the
right.
romantic lead, or my thing is I can play several of these things, even though that it's not very common.
Right.
I've been called weird names like recently, like Denzel Van Johnson.
I like that, a combination of all of them. Right?
Somebody called me Denzel Van Schwarzenegger.
So that means you can do it all.
Which is like, okay.
That's a compliment.
Well, yeah, it is.
Because
absolutely.
all of them are great in their own field, and you can do all of them. So that's a serious compliment.
Well, yeah, it is. It is. It's about being true to who I am, and my contribution is not in just one area.
Right.
And I enjoy the entire industry. I enjoy the directing, the producing, writing, acting, that whole thing. So, and like who is a close friend of mine, kind of similar to what Tyler Perry has done. He knows his audience,
yes.
and he knows how to administer to his audience.
Yes.
I'm trying to do the same thing, but the audience tends to be, pretty global.
Right.
Yeah.
There's another audience that you have that has nothing to do with your acting or anything. It's
Mm-hmm.
more of how you and your wife express yourself.
Absolutely.
It's about you as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
I just interviewed her, and I think I'm more in love with y'all as a couple, even more now, because she speaks very highly of you, and the fact that, I brought up something to her, and I'm going to bring it up to you because I can. You did a post a couple years ago, and it was of you and your wife,
Yeah.
and you talked about how much you love her and appreciate her,
Yeah.
and how it went viral. Do you understand that you made a perfect statement for us Black people, Black love, when you did that?
I didn't understand it at the time. I thought I was just sending it out to a few of my Facebook followers,
Right.
and then it did what it did, and the next thing I know, I'm asked to be on the news, and,
That's what she said.
and it's been written in so many places, and because I was backing up my wife, who went very public with advice and things about our relationship, I couldn't have her out there alone and say, well, look, if this is the other side. I think one of the first was let me speak from the outside, the silent, side, because I was the one kind of determined to keep my private life private.
Right.
But then I saw the response, and I realized the responsibility that I had to speak my side of it, and then, my goodness, from that first post, I was going back home, and 11 people between the time I left for the airport to get from the airport in Atlanta to the airport in at LAX, 11 different people stopped me and talked about that. And so that's something that just touched my heart, because I know who I am as a human being, and part of a large part of who I am is it's of service to others. I'm an entertainer. It informs you that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be in service to other people, and that's my highest. It's what I'm supposed to do.
But to you, that was natural, because she said he does this all the time. That's just his norm.
Right.
But we need to see that people like you have a heart. You know what I mean? We see you and we support you guys in these movies, and we love you and everything. But it's so amazing to hear a Black man who we admire basically put his Black woman out there, his queen out there, and say, I got you, I support you, whatever you do and stuff. And so that's why it went viral. That's why it went crazy, because we don't always see that. We live in this world where it's kind of a lot of negative and it's a lot of confusion. So for you guys to show us that, for us to see y'all together, we see love, we see passion, and that gives so many of us hope.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate to be able to kind of vibrate on, my truest level and being the best version of myself, and she makes that possible.
Yes.
I was never the man I am until her.
I love it.
Because she's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. It's got nothing to do with connection with this industry.
Right.
Because what we have enhances every other aspect of my life, including our children and everything. And so to be a guy who grew up, without a father figure, without these images and stuff, and to attain something that I didn't even think was possible. I mean, I couldn't live with myself without expressing that to others and letting folks know that, my goodness, our highest form of ourselves is connected, and as men, connected to who we are as providers and in security, and to our women first and foremost. And the man who I never was even close to the man I am now, and I wouldn't be that if it wasn't for finding this out. And so it's a freedom that I wish upon all of my brothers, and it's more gratifying to be able to enhance others' lives in a very real way than even beyond the entertainment stuff. So, I mean, honestly, I'm approached probably more about my relationship than I am about the martial arts in my career. And it means more to me. So, it's cool. I mean, if I can help somebody's life, by giving them, few words of wisdom, or just from what I say, just sharing my thoughts, hey, my day is made.
I love it. I love it. You have no idea how significant and important it is, especially in the time that we live now. And I appreciate both of you all. It's well needed.
Well, thank you. I think there's a lot of us out there who prosper from a good relationship, and it's just they don't have most of the people don't have their the platform to help others. I happen to have this platform, and I happen to be a messenger, by nature. So I have to do that. So I mean, I just want to encourage people that I know so much of the negative leads nowadays.
Right.
Because they know it's clickbait.
Right.
And the positive people ignore.
Right.
But I just want to encourage people that there's a lot of positive out there. When I have an image, like when I go home and I look over the countryside and I see like the lights, thousands of lights out there. And I think those lights represent the majority of us who are in loving relationships and putting their children to bed and spending that time with the one that they love. But they live their quiet lives and don't connect with other people because they don't have the need to do so. But as soon as there's a negative story, everybody wants to look at that.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it just reinforces itself. But just when you look at those lights, think about that. There's another side to the negativity, and so I'm blessed to be able to represent that other side.
I love it. Other than the movie that you're working on, what else do you have going on?
Well, we got a number of things going. I've got some movies that are coming out. About 4 of them. I gotta think of
you gotta remember,
I'm always thinking about the future.
Okay.
So yeah, there's
You have a movie with you and your wife. What's the name of that movie?
Sudden Death.
That's coming out.
Sudden Death.
That's coming. Sudden Death. That's coming June 2020, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I believe.
Thank God for your wife. What else?
The Undercover Brother.
Undercover Brother
2.
2.
Yeah. Undercover Brother 2. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's coming out next month.
I think
it's before December.
Or no, it's either
It's like it might be this month.
Oh, October. It's coming. Look for
It's
him.
coming, yeah.
Follow him on social media so we
Yeah.
can know all his movies and we can support.
Yeah, please, because I need help. I don't.
That's why you having the publicist. That's exactly.
I think there's two others. But
You're working. You're working.
Yeah, I'm working.
This
I'm
minute
working.
day. We
Yeah.
just keep looking out for Michael J. White. That's what we do. Any advice? Let's give advice to the magazines about black men. Any advice to all black men out there?
Oh man, my brothers. Wow. The advice, man, it's just like this social media world. I just hope folks don't get too caught up in that and be able to, if you have a positive outlook, you know, you have a positive heart, search for those things that support that. I just feel like a lot of us are losing out to the negativity. You know, I want us to take our rightful places as our, you know, our kings are, you know, our being the men that we know we can be, and not lose out to the lesser sides, the things that appeal to our lesser selves. You know, we know honesty trumps everything. Be honest. We gotta look at ourselves in the mirror. You're not really a man until you realize there's something that you'll live and die for. So your integrity should be one of those things. And if you got that, it takes care of everything else. It takes care of everything in our relationships. Because if we don't want to be in a relationship, let's be honest about it. If we want to be, you know, the men, leaders and great fathers, well, let's be honest to ourselves and embrace our flaws, because that's what makes us who we are, right? So if you glance over your flaws, you deny the possibility of someone loving you for who you are. So I just think that we've got to drop all the pretentious stuff and just be honest with who we are so we can grow. So you gotta just peel back all the layers of society that tells us what we're supposed to be and be who we are.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most powerful messages that I've heard. That's amazing. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule. I know you're on your way to see Tyler Perry. Right.
That's my man. That's who I think. I think we're actually related, but
okay.
But that's what my life is simple.
Right.
That's my friend, and I'm supporting
Support
that.
my friend.
And I enjoy seeing what he's accomplished, and being a part of it is an honor and blessing for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.